Hello, online crew. Welcome to today's live where we're going to talk about engagement. How do you get more of it? What are some of the things that you should be doing to boost your engagement? And this is one of those things that, is not necessarily very sexy, but sometimes you have to go back to the basics to get some results. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. There's three main things that I think you should be doing to create more engagement on your social media. So you might want to check in with these three things to see, what it is that you're doing, or maybe what you need to do more of to be able to increase that engagement. Okay, so that's what we'll be sharing today. If we've not met before, my name is Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain. I am here on behalf of entrepreneurs, home-based business owners, direct sellers, social sellers, those that want to build online. You have a home business, but you want to do it in a way where you're a human before a marketer. So you want to use social media to obviously leverage the internet to build your business. Awesome. But you want to do it in a way where you're a human before a marketer. That's something that's really important to me, being really genuine, being really authentic, not pushing my business on anybody, just opening the door for opportunities, and learning how to create that attraction through social media, but in a really human way. So if that's how you want to build your business, then you're in the right place. Now, yesterday's video, if you missed it, I would recommend you go back and watch it, because of the three tips that I'm going to give you today, yesterday's video is very important in this discussion as well. So yesterday I started the discussion because I did a detailed training in my coaching community. Those of you that are in my coaching community, make sure you watch the replay of that training exclusively for you guys yesterday, in how you convert conversations from the friend zone to actually leading into building your business in a really authentic, genuine way and a faster way, rather than getting stuck in the friend zone. I know some of you will know what I mean when I say stuck in the friend zone. So that's yesterday's video. What I wanted to share with you today is, how do we genuinely get more engagement out of our social media? So three things that you really want to think of. And number one, I don't think enough people in the industry do this. I think when people start learning social media, they post, or I think sometimes your expectations might be a little bit off with how social media really works. So we know, or you know, that you need to put content out there. Is that correct? Like, you're not going to get much engagement if you don't put anything out there for people to engage on. So I think that's a pretty much of a no-brainer. I think you would agree. Hopefully that you would agree with that. But you can't just put content out there and just wait for people to reach out to you. So if you want engagement, there's a few things around that. One, you need to ask for engagement if you want more engagement. So the way you come across on social media, your language, what you say, the questions that you ask, the calls to action, all that kind of stuff. And you've got to get really good at asking for what you want. But to be able to do a good job of that, the basic principle of engagement is, if you want more, who doesn't want more engagement? Would you all like more engagement? I'm figuring you probably do. So the first thing you need to do if you want more engagement is to go and give more engagement. Are you doing a really good job of that? Or do you think that's lacking a little bit? You're on your phone a lot, or your computer a lot. You're consuming a lot of content. You're absorbing everybody else's stuff. You're looking around. You're learning, maybe even listening to videos like this of mine. Like, you're learning some things. You're on social media a lot, but how much are you actually giving to others? Have you ever... I've talked for hours today. I've been talking live for basically 3 hours straight. So I get a bit tongue-tied sometimes. So just excuse me. It's just what I do. So getting back on track. I've totally lost my train of thought. I'll come back. It feels like a Friday today. How about you guys? Are you ready for the weekend? Well, it's my Friday. It's probably not your... For some of you, it won't be your Friday. It'll be your Thursday night. But we're getting closer to the weekend. But if you want... That's it. That's what I was going to say. See, it always comes back. The law of reciprocity. Have you heard of that? What you give, you'll get back. If you want more engagement, so this is number 1 of 3. If you want more engagement, you need to go and give more engagement. You actually have to spend more time. Just although, in saying that, don't make it a burden. This is what I feel a lot of people on social media, you get exhausted by social media, but it's because you're always on it and you're not being intentional with it. Like, you can be really effective and do a lot of engagement in 15 minutes solid. That's it. 15 minutes, but that's all you do for 15 minutes. You are power moving through giving a lot of engagement to other people. You're going through, your list of your stories, you're engaging on those, you're looking at your news feed while you're looking and you're consuming information. Be intentional and actually give some love back. Give some love hearts, give a comment, give a compliment. Actually, while you're on your socials, make it effective. So if you want to get more engagement, you need to give more engagement. And this is the basic number 1. And I think a lot of you consume a lot of content. You're always kind of looking at social media, but you may not be giving much or enough back. So if you really want to turn around the engagement aspect, couple of avenues there. You've got to obviously ask for it, but if you give more love to people, they'll give it back. It's just the way it works. It's just the law of reciprocity. It's like you, and I use this example all the time in my video challenges. When you smile and it seems like you're a happy person and you're happy to be doing what you're doing and you share a smile, or you walk down the street and you smile at somebody, what are they more likely going to do back at you? They'll probably give you a grin back. They'll probably smile back at you. What you give, you get back. If you want more engagement on social media, spend a little bit more time than you are now. And some of you, it really is nothing. You're on social media a lot, but you're not engaging enough. If you really want the algorithms to work in your favor and get a lot more engagement, you need to spend at least probably 30 days. If you really want to turn it around, and you can, you've got the opportunity to, but it depends what effort you put in. You got to put more effort in sometimes. And if you put more effort into giving a lot of love to people, they'll start looking at you. They'll start engaging back. What you give, you get back. So it's simple, isn't it? But who knows now, like if you're with me live or watching the replay later, comment below, I need to do more of that. Like, be honest. I know I get super busy, and I'm sure a lot of you get super busy as well. And you're so in tune with what you're learning or what you're doing, or your day job, and this is a side business, or whatever it is, you're just busy doing you. You're busy doing life. And you're not getting much engagement on social media. My guess is that you're probably not giving much, to the platforms that you're on. You're not actually engaging. You can't just post and pray. You can't just post and then expect people to just, even if you've got a call to action, they just come flocking to you. The better you do, the better you are at giving love, giving comments, giving compliments, things like that, the more people will notice you. Because people notice people. They look back at their posts, because I know you do too. You post something and you go and look back to see who's commented, don't you? You don't just post it and never look at it again. You go back and have a look at who's commented. Tell the truth. But by doing that, you're noticing people that are commenting on your posts. You're noticing people. So if you're commenting more and loving more on other people's posts, they're noticing you. See how it works? Simple strategy. But so many more people in this industry just need to go back to basics. Time block 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you've got that you can fit in your day that's manageable for you around everything else that you do, in your family, your business, your kids, your job, whatever it is that you do. Just set a time frame and make it non-negotiable. So give more to get more, number 1. Number 2, do what I said yesterday in my live video. So when you are reaching out, when you are giving engagement, when you are commenting, have a strategy and intention around it. Don't go to your social media and go love heart, love heart, love heart, love heart, love heart. If you engage like that really, really quickly, the algorithm actually picks that up and they know it's not really thoughtful. But if you stop on somebody's post, you give it a love heart and a little bit of a compliment, or you say something. And even better, ask a question. Keep the conversation going in the feed. So what I was saying yesterday was about having intention when you're reaching out to people, particularly in Messenger, but have intention when you're commenting on somebody's newsfeed. Like, have an actual reason, like compliment on something, something specific, and ask them a question around something specific. So if you want to get more engagement, have more of a conversation rather than just love heart, or I love that, that's awesome, you're amazing. But like one word, that's your engagement. That's not enough anymore. So spend some time being intentional about the actual conversation that you're having in the feed or in Messenger. Your algorithms are also driven by the personal conversations you're having in Messenger. And I know you must have noticed it, or if you haven't, go and test this. Go and pick on somebody that's a friend of yours and go into Messenger and start a conversation. So somebody you haven't spoken to for quite a while. So pick on somebody, do that. Then go back to your news feed shortly after, and guess whose content you're going to see? You're going to see their content. It blows me away every time this happens. I'll start talking to somebody new, and then I'll go back to my news feed, and now I'm suddenly seeing their content where I've never really seen their content before. That's how the algorithms work. It's driven by the conversations and the interactions that you're having. But if you're not very good at giving it, you're not going to be very good at getting it. And the algorithms are not going to be enthused in any way. There's going to be no signals firing off for you and your social media if you're not engaging yourself. Facebook or the platforms in the background are going, selfish, selfish, selfish. Not replying back to comments, not giving any love, not having any conversations in Messenger. Like, you're just not giving enough to get enough out of the platforms that you're on. Does that make sense? So number one is give love to get more back, basically. Number two, when you're giving the love, when you're leaving compliments, when you're having conversations, when you get into somebody's Messenger, have an intention behind it. Go back to yesterday's video and for the whole video on what I shared around that, okay? Number three is about your content. When you start engaging and you start upping your game with, talking to people more and reacting and complimenting and things like that, it does help drive the algorithm to show more of your content to people, but you've got to keep the content up. So once you do have, the engagement working for you, you want to keep creating content and stories so that you are at the forefront of whoever you're interacting with and engaging with, that they're going to see your stuff. You know how stories work? The more you do of them, like during the day, you'll sit at the front of the stories. If you just do one in a 24-hour period, that'll disappear pretty quickly, and not many people will see it. You've got to keep doing stories to keep at the front of the stories feed. So you've really got to keep an eye on and be really aware of what you are and aren't posting and how regularly or not you're doing that. So if you want to stay at the forefront of engagement and receive more engagement and keep that engagement going, then you want to have consistent content. You already know that. I know you already know that, but are you actually doing it? Sometimes it's just a matter of hearing it again and again and again. It's like, yeah, I know I should be doing that. I need to do a better job of that because I'm not doing enough of that. So if that's the trigger that's going off for you right now, then store that and go, okay, well, firstly, I need to time block and spend a little bit more time giving rather than taking from social media. When I'm giving, I need to be more intentional about who it is I'm interacting with, and go and find your people. Don't interact with everybody. Go and interact with the people that you really want to engage with and want you to engage back with them. Like, if you just go through your newsfeed and you're engaging with everybody, is it everybody that's actually in your sites or your target market? Like, if you're somebody who helps other mums do something, get healthier or stay at home or extra income stream or whatever, be intentional about where you're spending your time with who you're engaging with. So bypass the people or the men in uniform type thing, and go and spend your time engaging with the people that you want to notice you, and get the algorithm working and the engagement working between you two. So then when you post something tomorrow or the next day or whatever, the person that you've been engaging with is more likely to see it. You don't want to engage with everybody and anybody. because it's not everybody and anybody that you want to see your content. You want to engage and build the know, like, and trust factor with people that are more in your target market, even if it's not business related. Does that make sense to you? When you're being intentional with your engagement and upping your engagement and upping your time block for that engagement, be a little bit picky. Don't overthink it, because, man, people overthink this majorly. Oh, I didn't know whether I should. And I looked at their profile and like 15 minutes has gone by and I didn't really know. And it's like, oh man, just go and engage with some people, would you? Stop overthinking it. But you know if somebody's a man or a woman by their profile picture, and whether they're 80 years old or whether they're a young mum, and your target's young mums, well, then go and engage with more of those people rather than just trying to get engagement for the sake of engagement. You'll get more meaningful engagement when you're engaging with more people like you. So go and engage with more people that are like you and get that engagement back. Then when you post stuff, the way the algorithms work is, okay, they've got the engagement going with each other and they're having a bit of a conversation because I got really good at leaving a compliment and then asking a question, and they engaged back. And then there was another question, we're having a little bit of a conversation, or then we took it into Messenger. Oh, wow, they're actually in Messenger now. That's what the algorithm's driven by as well. So then the next time I post, the social media platform is going to show my content to that person because that's who I've deliberately engaged with. Do you get it? It's not rocket science, but it's the basics that you really need to go back to get out of the platforms what you want out of them. So, one, your total mental block just then. I need to stop talking for a few hours. Number one, give more to get more, basically. So the law of reciprocity, okay? Give more to get more, and be intentional with that. So the second one is doing what I said yesterday with being intentional with that, leaving compliments, asking specific questions, and adding in this video to that as well is put that effort into the people that are actually in your target market that you want to be seeing you, even if it's not business related. It could just be something personal that you're sharing, but you want to engage with the people that are, more like you. Okay. And the third thing is you've got to be consistent with your content. So it doesn't mean that you need to be on social media every single day. If that's not you, that's exhausting to you, that's okay. Take the burden off, but work out what your pattern is and stay consistent with that pattern. If you post 3 or 4 times out of 7, stay consistent with posting 3 or 4 days out of 7. Don't post 7 days because you just got a little bit of a motivational flare and then disappear for 3 weeks. If you really want to get good with engagement, you have to be consistent in your social media, and stories is magic. Messenger's even better. So focus on conversations in Messenger, focus on a lot of stories. You're human beings. You'll go through good and bad spurts of that. I do sometimes about my stories all day, every day, and other times it's just one story or a couple of stories or something like that. But just make sure you've always got something there, because your content is not going to be seen. You're going to get lower and lower and lower and lower with the algorithm if you don't engage with people and you're all take. So you may show up even on a business page, you may show up and do live videos and give value and whatever, but you're not really getting any engagement back because you're not really communicating. You're not having a proper conversation with people. So that's something to reflect on regarding how you're actually communicating your content with people. Have more of a conversation than more teaching, and ask for engagement and have calls to action. So there's so many areas I could take this particular conversation, but I just want to strip it back to the 3 things that I've already mentioned. So give more to get more, be really intentional, give compliments and ask a specific question, elaborate on that with yesterday's video. And 3, how consistent actually are you on social media? So be consistent, but not to the point where it actually exhausts you and then you want to walk away from social media. The more organized that you are with your content, the less of a burden it will be. So if you have to spend a little bit more time blocking or getting organized with the content that you're creating rather than doing everything at the last minute, and you've got that constant dialogue in your head. I should post something today. I didn't post something yesterday. I should post something today. I don't know what to post. I'll post something later. I'm busy. Oh, and then another day's gone by. I didn't post anything today. Oh, I really need to post something today. I don't know what to put up. So I'll just put this inspirational quote up because I can't think of anything. And it's shallow and it doesn't mean anything and there's no thought behind it. And then 2 days later, oh, I really need to post something again. And I don't really know what I want to post. And you're exhausted by social media, but that's just because you're not organized, basically. Okay, make sense? All right, just checking in on a couple of comments. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate how much time you spend with us and the community. I appreciate you saying that. I comment on their posts. Should I comment on their profiles as instead? Well, somebody's post is on their profile, Jeanette, so I'm not quite following where your question's going at. When you comment on somebody's post, their post is on their profile. So yeah, what do you actually mean by that question? Just if you can reword that in another way. It's very easy to consume and not give back. I try to spend at least 10 minutes a day sharing love to people. Awesome. That's great. I'm doing more of this, 20 minutes a day engaging with current friends and then 20 minutes a day engaging in groups. Amazing. That's a really good example of engaging with people that are more like-minded to you. So if Christina's in a group, engaging in that group, she's chosen a group that's obviously aligns with her for a specific purpose. So when she's spending time engaging, she's spending time with people that are in the same group that she is, so there's a common purpose. Great way to spend your time. Groups of like-minded people. 20 minutes creating posts and stories. Awesome. I am guilty of doing all my stories at once though. So if you're creating them, instead of doing them all at once, instead of posting, like I do this quite often, Christina, is I'll go into my stories and create something, but instead of posting it there and then, because I do want to spread them out, I'll just save it to my camera roll and then get out of stories. And then a few hours later, or if you think of the breakfast, lunch and dinner, maybe 3 stories a day. So if you're posting in the moment, just take a step back for a second, just save it to your camera roll instead of actually posting it in the moment, and then go back a few hours later, pick it up from your camera roll, put it in your stories and post it then. So you can easily shift that strategy, Christina, by just saving it to your camera roll instead of posting it in the moment. Just remember to go back to it, okay? Sorry, a bit of left sentence. I'm commenting and talking in both Messenger and commenting on profiles. Is both good or just one avenue? Both. You've got to do both. It's not profile or Messenger. It's both. You should be spending and time blocking time for your feed, people's profiles, the news feed. So that's posting. Stories is a separate feed. Do you realize that? It's actually a separate feed and it's a separate algorithm. So there's the news feed, there's stories, and there's Messenger. I would make time for all of it. Okay? The good thing about stories is that, well, now with stories, you can comment on the actual story, or you can actually, like, it'll tell you you're commenting on the actual story or you're going to somebody's Messenger. Like, go to somebody's Messenger. Don't just comment on the story, because more often than not, if people are not looking back at their stories, they're going to miss your comment anyway. So when you comment on a story, make sure it's going to somebody's Messenger rather than just commenting on the actual story itself. You want to get into people's Messenger. Okay. Genius. Thanks for the tip. You're welcome, Christina. So we'll leave it on that note there. So really, sometimes you just need to stop trying to learn all the things and just get back to the little habits that are going to really help your algorithm, help your engagement, help you have more conversations. Yes, you want to post on social media. Yes, you want to attract people to you. Yes, you want to create good content, but not at the detriment of not talking to anybody in Messenger or not networking with anybody in stories or your newsfeed. Customers and teammates will only ever come from you having a conversation. If you're all about social media content and very little conversations, those customers and those teammates won't come because you're not having enough conversations. And you know how the stats work, guys? 1 in 10, 1 in 20 before somebody says yes. You got to be talking to a lot of people before you get the customers, and the engagement, and have really good, consistent content to be able to get those customers and have a conversation. Someone feels comfortable enough to reach out to you. You've been posting about that stuff quite a bit lately. What is it exactly, Helen? You got to be consistent with your content, because gone are the days that somebody sees a piece of content once and they're in. I'm in, sign me up. Wouldn't that be nice? Or I want that. I want to buy it. Occasionally on TikTok that does happen. It's a buying platform. But other than that, people need multiple exposures to you as a person and to what it is that you help people with, the things that you love to use, what you're doing in your life. People will buy from people that they know, like, and trust. But if you're not showing up, they're not liking you, they're not even knowing you, because you're not there. Somebody else is there giving the love. So if you want to get noticed more, if you want more people to see your content, if you want people to feel comfortable with engaging with your content, you got to show up more. Okay? So go and implement that. Don't just listen to my videos and go, yeah, she's right, I should probably do a little bit more of that. Actually go and do something with this information. So the 3 live videos that I did this week, I really hope you got something out of them. The first one was about your excuses. Yesterday was about, being really intentional. Today's about engagement. Clubhouse was in the middle there, talking about how do you get unstuck. So the content this week, if you really absorbed it, there's golden nuggets in all of that for you to really get back to basics and make a difference in your business, because that's what I want for you. I want you to actually get results in your business, just not listen to trainings and do nothing with it, okay? So this is my last live video for the week. I want a massive encouragement and, acknowledgement to those that are in the video challenge at the moment. They've got on their way this week. We're a few days in, so loving watching your videos. I may not always comment, guys, but I'm there watching your videos. So keep going. It's only a 10-day video challenge. Keep going with those live videos. I'm right behind you, encouraging you guys. So well done for that. So I look forward to being here next week with you again for more great content. So have an amazing weekend, everybody.